If you struggle with motivation on a physical level, not just a mental and emotional one, this video is for you. I'm going to share how I motivate myself on a bad day when everything seems stacked against me, including my own body and my own health. This is essentially how I keep moving forward when I'm having a hard time moving at all. Welcome back, boss ladies, and hello if you are here for the first time. My name is Tara Wagner of exotara.us, a belief breakthrough coach with almost a decade of experience helping women to overcome their limiting beliefs. If you're a female entrepreneur who prefers to crush her goals, not her soul, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell for weekly videos to help you overcome your own limiting beliefs, as well as the bad habits that are holding you back. Now, I strongly believe that motivation is really about training your body and your brain to make moves, to get out of the thoughts and the emotions that keep you stuck and to get into action. And for the average healthy person, I think something like the 5-second rule, if you've heard of that, is a really great process to help you to train those things into yourself. However, I know how hard it is to feel motivated when you feel like crap. And yet, I've built a multiple 6-figure business. So I know that if I can do this, so can you, even if your challenges are not the same as mine. I'm going to walk you through the steps that I take when I need more than just a simple motivation hack to get myself moving. I'm going to walk you through my process of how I motivate myself on a bad day so that when you're having a bad day and you need more than just a motivational hack, you really need a practice to get you moving when you really can't or don't want to be moving. You'll have this to fall back on. Step 1 is self-care like whoa. And you have probably heard me say this before, and you will probably hear me say it again, because I think that self-care is the biggest missing piece when it comes to motivation. Most of us are not unmotivated. We're freaking tired. And if we don't take the time to listen to our bodies and our needs, and we just keep trying to push through or to create motivation, we're just gonna end up burnt out. I might have a need for motivation, but I get to start by addressing my most urgent and physical needs first. I get to give my body what it needs before I can ask anything of it. Now, obviously, we need to make self-care a daily routine, and I know that when my motivation is waning, it's because my self-care routines have also been dropping. But when I'm having a bad day, I know that I need to take some time out and do some kind of like self-care triage to just get myself back to a balanced place before I can even start looking at what needs to be done or how I'm gonna do it. This doesn't always have to take forever. In fact, I can get some really good self-care in, sometimes in as little as 30 seconds. And if you wanna know how I do that, make sure you grab my self-care in seconds training. I'll link it down below this video. My next step is always managing my overwhelm. Like I said, most of us are not unmotivated, we're tired. And we're tired because there's too much going on. Now, if you're chronically overwhelmed, you're not gonna be able to tackle this in 30 minutes. This is gonna actually be something where you need to change the underlying patterns that are leading to this overwhelm. And I did a video, I think like 2 videos ago on this, so I really recommend that you watch that. It talks about a process of actually changing those patterns. But one thing that I will often do when I'm feeling unmotivated and I'm wanting to manage my overwhelm is I'll look at the tasks on my list and see if they're too big. A lot of times I'm overwhelmed because I'm looking at the size or scope of something that needs to be done. But if I can break it into just bite-sized chunks and chip away at little pieces, I can create that momentum, that progress without a lot of energy. Once I've done these very practical pieces, I have increased my self-care, met those physical needs, and managed my overwhelm, then I can move into more of the mindset piece. For me, this is gonna be a little bit more work, especially in the beginning. It was a lot more work. Now I can do this in a matter of a couple of minutes. But if you're really struggling, I really want to encourage you to grab a pen and grab some paper and write out the answers to these two questions. The first question is, why do I actually want to do this? It's very easy to focus on all the reasons we don't want to do something, especially when we're physically feeling them in our body. But the more you focus yourself on what you actually do want to do, what you're actually trying to create, what the outcome is that you're moving towards, the more you're going to increase that emotional energy. And that emotional energy is going to give you a little bit of a boost of a physical energy as well. So even when you do feel fatigued or you're dealing with some health stuff like I do, this can help you to just get that little bit of momentum going so that you can start chipping away at those little things that are going to move you forward. Question number 2 is the really important one though, and that is, how can I do this differently in a way that's still going to honor my needs or honor my health or my body or whatever it might be? If I'm physically having a bad day, but I have this idea in mind of how this needs to get done, what this should look like, I'm going to feel very unmotivated because I'm not going to have the capacity to do it in the way that I think it should be done. But if I can ask myself this question, how can I do this differently in a way that meets my needs? I'm first very connected to my why. Why do I actually want to do this? So I've got the energy, and now I'm looking at the how. How can I do this differently? This has been a really important question for me because it's allowed me to shift out of the way that I think things should look and into the way that's actually going to get them completed. Perfect is the enemy of done, of complete, of good enough. You will feel incredibly unmotivated if you feel like things have to be done a certain way, or look a certain way, or you need to act a certain way. Challenge your mind to find a way to do it in a way that still meets your needs. Now, pen to paper journaling, I do recommend for these exercises, and really give yourself some time to delve into it, especially that first sentence. Really allow yourself some time to answer that question, maybe over and over again to get really deep into it. But you can also try talking this out loud. Sometimes hearing ourselves say these things is going to be just as powerful as writing them down. But again, before you jump to these practical or mindset pieces, start with your self-care. And if self-care feels like something you don't have time for, it feels way too indulgent to stay healthy and sane, make sure to grab my self-care in seconds training, because it's going to offer you some perspective shifts as well as a buttload of ideas to help you start filling your cup, even when you are exhausted or you think you don't have time. After you grab that from the description below, be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, as well as your best tips on how to motivate yourself on a bad day. Then give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more weekly encouragement to help you crush your goals, not your soul, and share it with others who want to do the same. Fist bump for watching to the end, and I will see you in the next one.